Hi guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. So I put a story on Instagram yesterday about the 100 set of watercolour paints from Grabie, and a couple of people have asked me to do to swatch them out. So this video is not really a review as such, but it's just more me swatching the colours, one, so I have it handy when I want to choose my colours for a colouring page, but also so you guys can see what colours come in the set. I'm also thinking maybe at the end I might do a bit of a demo in one of the Dana Fox Watercolor with Me books. Now those books are, they do have watercolor paper in them, so it will perform a bit differently in those books than it will on normal coloring book paper. So why did I get these and what am I planning to do with them? A little while ago I did buy some watercolors from Koh-i-Noor. It was these stackable ones here, and I did try them out in one of my coloring books, but I wasn't impressed with the consistency. They did feel quite chalky to me compared to other watercolor paints that I have, and that is why you never see me use them on the channel. Now they are a budget set, and I probably should give them another go. Maybe it's just me and I need to practice more and get used to them. They do have lots of colors, but I decided to try something different instead, and I got the Grabie 100 paint set. So I do have a few background ideas, one in particular for Mythic World. Now, there is a page in that book that I get asked quite a lot to colour in, and I'm hoping that I can try a technique that I'm thinking of on that page. So with these paints, I did in my excitement yesterday open the box and throw it out. But this is everything that comes in the box for your set. Now this is such a cute little tin to pop in a bag and take on holidays with you. I really could have done this with this set over Christmas. Now it's a little bit bigger than a geometry set. I should have measured this. Wait, I can measure it on my desk. We have, so it's 19 centimeters long, and it is, or maybe 7 to 8 centimeters in height, and say 3 centimeters approximately in depth. So firstly, you get 3 water brushes, and we've got this one here, I think, is a flat top. Yep, got a flat top here. We have this one here, which is got a point to it. It's quite a larger size point though. It's not quite, you probably couldn't get into the really small areas. I think this one and this one might be very similar. It's very misshapen. There. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they are very soft. So I think they are actually the same, but just one's a little bit smaller than the other. And you also get a 2B drawing pencil. Now, I assume this is in here for people who are sketching out their pages and then using their watercolors to add color to the paper, which I don't do because we all know I can't draw, but pencils always come in handy. Now the paints, open it up. Now they do come such a cute little set. There we go, light flap. So they come with this swatch chart, which is on watercolor paper, and this is what I'm going to be swatching on today. We also have this plastic divider here, which, as well as keeping the two pans separated, so when you close the tin, the paint isn't splashing or getting mixed up onto the other side. It also will act as a makeshift palette. You can see it's nice and thin there. But yeah, nice and smooth to use as a palette for your watercolors. Now with the colors, I mainly wanted this for the regular colors, not so much the metallics, because I do have quite a few sets of metallic watercolors already. I am interested in seeing what the colors look like swatch though, just in case there's some shades there that I might have a gap in my collection. Now there are 50 regular watercolors. We also have the 35 metallics, and then we've got 5 neon or fluorescent colors, and then 10 pastel colors here. This one has me intrigued. It is considered one of their fluorescent colors. So I'm quite interested to see what that looks like when it's swatched out. It's giving me Dahlia purple vibes, Prismacolor Dahlia purple. So I'm interested to see how fluorescent it actually is once we swatch it out. So I will be swatching from right to left because I'm left-handed, and that way I'm not going to be smudging it everywhere. Now I'm not going to be too particular about getting inside the lines because it is just a swatch chart. So once we've swatched everything, I will come back and chat about the colors when it's done, and then maybe we might do a little color along. I will be using one of the water brushes that came with the set to do our swatch charts. I've also got my little rag here as well to wipe off the color in between. And I'm just going to activate all the paints now with some spray. So this is actually my Distress Sprayer, my Tim Holtz, the Ranger Distress Sprayer Vaporizer. Now, this one is also good for using your Distress ink backgrounds and spraying on there to get your little water droplet effects. But I'm going to use this today to activate all my paints. So I may speed this section up and add a little bit of music, but I will come back once it's all swatched. Okay guys, now I did say this is not a review, but my first impressions, you will have noticed I did switch to my trusty Arteza water brush. Now, as I was colouring that first swatch in, I don't know if that's showing up on the screen, but you can see it comes out to about here, that little bit on the end. I get some scissors and chop it off. Yeah, but it was annoying me, so I switched to my trusty Arteza water brush, which is my preferred water brush that I always use. Now, colour-wise, let me move this out of the way. So colour-wise, I did really like the colour selection of the regular colours, as well as the pastels as well. This one is considered a pastel, but I don't know why. I mean, that brown is more pastel, so I'm not sure. You'll see, I thought I was making a mistake when I was colouring this one in. I just saw a brilliant green, and I'm like, wait, that's not green, that's purple. And I still can't see how it's a green purple. I don't see a green undertone to it, but I did end up making a mistake here. I put these two colours there instead, so I went over the top and fixed that up. These colours here, from orange red down to lemon yellow, would make the most beautiful sunset background in our colouring pages. And these ones here would be really nice to use for a pale blue sky as well. So I'm really happy with those regular colours. Now, the neon colours here, how beautiful is that fluorescent yellow? They're so bright. Now, I don't know how often I'd use fluorescent colours. These ones specifically are giving me 1980s vibes. So if you've got any 1980s style pictures, or you want to colour something with that sort of vibe, it's giving me 1980s neon vibes. Yes, I am that old, that I lived through the 80s and even a little bit of the 70s. So yeah, I do like the colours, but I don't know how often they'll get used, but I do like the colours. Now, when we go to the metallics, I would consider these more a pearlescent. Let's see if that shine is showing up on screen. So rather than really why do I always have trouble saying glittery? Rather than being really glittery, yeah, it looks like it has more of a pearlescent effect as it dries instead. So I'll probably be more inclined to reach for my other watercolor paints, metallic paints, sorry, over these ones. But if you're looking for a pearlescent effect on your page, for example, the page I did, the only page in Mythic World, and I coloured the skulls grey, and then I used a pearlescent paint over the top to give it a pearl effect. It very much has a final finish quite like the metallic grey. So you could just go straight in with the metallic grey and not use the pencils or the pearlescent effect paint. Yeah, so it's definitely more pearlescent to me than metallics. But still got quite a nice range of colours. I quite like all these little rosy pinks and the purples. They're quite pretty. Okay, so I'm thinking we might do a little demo with it in Dana Fox's Watercolor with me in the forest. So, get my book, and I might have to zoom you guys out a little bit. One second. Hopefully that's all in frame. Now I'm thinking we're going to do wet on dry, and I'm looking at the Monarch Butterfly, and it only uses 3 different colours. So let's see. A Monarch Butterfly has a lot of little details that are a lot of fun to colour in. When using the black, you may need to go over your first layer to make it darker, since the paint will dry lighter. By filling in each orange section separately, you can create unique washes for each area as opposed to filling in the entire wing as a whole. So it gives us the 3 colours we need: yellow ochre, burnt sienna and ivory black. Now, supplies, it says a round brush, a size 3 works well, or a fine brush. I'm just going to use my Arteza water brush, the same one I was using to do the swatches. So the 3 colours of paint they mentioned above, and either a white gel pen or white gouache. I'm probably going to use my white Signo. Now our instructions: mix together a little yellow ochre with burnt sienna and some water for a yellow based orange. Fill each wing section with the mixed colour, making sure not to touch the sections together with the paint. To do this, leave small spaces of exposed paper in between each orange section. 3. When the paint is dry after a few minutes, paint the black outlines and body with ivory black using the tip of your brush or a fine brush. Covering any exposed paper spaces that were left. Once the piece is completely dry, add the white dots with a white gel pen or a white gouache. Okay, this sounds simple enough, right? You're gonna lay flat for me, or do I need to clip you? I might just add a clip just in case. Okay, I should keep it flat-ish. Okay, now to pick our colours. So it says we need yellow ochre, burnt sienna and ivory black. So we've got yellow ochre here. And there's no burnt sienna, but I might mix my yellow ochre with my red ochre. And then ivory black, will I use just the normal black? Or will I go lighter? Now I'm going to use the black. So I'm going to mix yellow ochre and red ochre together. And then I'm going to use just the normal black for the outlines. And then the white Signo for the details. So I will mix it using the little plastic palette that came with the set. I'll try mixing it on there. I'll just move this picture to the side. Okay, so now, can we see the butterfly still? Yep. Okay. So we've got, this one is our yellow ochre, and this one is our red ochre. And how much of this am I going to need? Oops, haven't cleaned my brush very well. Okay. I'm just going to paint some of this onto here. Just wipe off my brush a bit. Pick up the red ochre. I'm just going to put it here for now, then I'll mix it in afterwards so I don't muddy up the colour in the pan. Okay, so let's try that. That's actually quite a pretty colour. Now if I leave it like that, there's a few sort of more yellowish tones to sort of a reddish tone here, which I think is quite pretty. Should I mix it properly or should I just leave it like that? I noticed let me lift this up without getting it in the paint. In the picture, you can see some bits are a little bit more reddish and some are more orange. So I am tempted not to mix it properly. I'm tempted, but I'm going back in. Okay, so you know what? Let's use the darker part and fill in these pencil lines here. Just trying to make sure I get a nice smooth line. That was a little bit of the lighter colour. It's a really pretty shade that it mixes to. It's actually like a bit of a darker version than the vermilion shade, which is a really pretty colour. I actually like this gradient. It's quite washed out. I'll just see if I can darken up just the edge here a little bit. I don't mind it looking washed out as it gets closer to the outside of the wing. I should have went from right to left because now I'm going to put my hand on it, aren't I? Okay, so I'm just going to let it dry for a minute, and then I'm going to go back in with the black. This side is pretty much dry. I'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll go in and do the black. Okay, so I think we can go in with our black now. I think I've left it long enough. Let's see if I've got a steady hand, eh? Pressure is on. I'm going to start from the right side this time. Okay, now it's fairly dry, so I'm going to go back in and make the black parts a little bit more opaque where you can see the paper coming through still, and then once that's done and dry, I'll go back and add the white Signo. Alright, so I think I've left it to dry long enough. I could probably leave it a little bit longer, but I'm getting impatient. I could dry it with a hairdryer, but I'm just going to go in and use my white Signo and start adding some white spots. So I start on this side. Let's see. I'm going to be a little bit more random, I think. Oh, have I not been patient enough? Okay, so I probably should have dried that side with my hairdryer before going through with the white Signo. But I still like the effect. I did do my dots a little bit more randomly than Dana has done in her picture over here. And I quite like the final result. I think it turned out really nice, and I like that colour actually. Those two colours mixed together came out really pretty. So that is our little demonstration in Dana Fox's, what is it, Watercolor with Me in the Forest? Yes, Watercolor with Me in the Forest. And here is our swatch chart for the 100 colours from the watercolour paint set by Grabie. So let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will speak to you all again in the next video. Bye for now.